Okay, seems like we're live. Oh, I'm live, that is. Today, well, not the entire day, but right now it's just me here. Morbidos. Yep, there's the notification of being live. The other two guys are going to be a little bit delayed today. Sangyo might not even come. He had to go out for a work thing. So currently it's just me, and Dunphy is delayed with some kids. But hey, we can have fun. All right. Now let me just shut this down and open up my notes. Well, you can run the intro first. There we are. Worked like a charm this time. Okay, so for today's topics, we have RyZen Threadripper. It's a new RyZen CPU or an AMD CPU. And we have some Intel X299. Hopefully, Dunphy is one that is going to take care of that. So unless he's here, we're screwed. And also some of our favorites from Computex 17. We didn't go, so we're kind of basing it off what we have seen other people post on YouTube. See, if you're in watching, welcome to the chat, and pop this up. See, where's the pop out thing? Pop out chat. There you go. So I want to be able to see it a little bit better. There we go. And there we are. Oh, nope, not that way. There we are. Okay, put this here. Now I have everything up. I haven't had word. Let's just ask Dunphy when he expects to be here. Okay, so I guess I could start off with the AMD RyZen Threadripper. It's just been confirmed by RyZen on 3 days ago, I think it was, on their keynote on Computex. They have a new RyZen platform called Whitehaven X399, or 399 for you guys. And it's quite funny because when we saw the effects or the performance and the specs of the first RyZen CPUs, the 1800 line, I actually predicted that we were going to see a more powerful 1900 named-ish line. And long and behold, here it is. The X399 or the Threadripper CPUs are enthusiast aimed, so they will be a little bit, well, a lot more powerful than the RyZen 1800X. But don't get me wrong here. I'm not saying that the first line of CPUs in the RyZen series were shit or bad in any way. They're very good. Sangyo has a complete setup of it, and it works extremely well. It's just not, well, it hasn't lived up to the hype that AMD said it was going to be. It's going to be the all-powerful, and we're going to beat the shit out of everything. And it kind of did, and it kind of didn't. In some areas it beat Intel, but in some areas it just didn't. Sorry. There are a couple of things that the new line brings that the old one, in my opinion, was missing. Like, the old one had dual channel memory, which is very old. My old computer from think it's 09 I bought it. Runs dual channel memory, and that's Bulldozer based. That's the FX9590, which is very old. It's very good still though. It works very well for me, but I will be looking into this Threadripper. I know I said it with the RyZen first CPUs as well, but they just didn't have, or they didn't retain the wow factor that they had when they launched it. Sorry, but these new Threadripper CPUs that they've been talking about looks very, very nice. But before we go all ape shit and hurtle all our money at AMD, it's time to step a little bit backwards and look at this new info from Skeptical Eye, I think, because they did hype up the 1800 series a lot. So they might have done the same with this, but the new line has the specs to sort of hold its own against the rest of the market, to say it like that. They do, because at the beginning we didn't have that much info about the first CPUs from RyZen before they launched it and told us all about it, and it was like, okay, so it runs fast-ish and has this new kind of boost thing, and but it doesn't support the memory that we have today. It's like 32, I think it's 3200 is the fastest memory you can have on it, and it's dual channel. So yeah, it's quick. Mine is 1600, so yeah, it's twice that quick, and it handles memory very well when it first actually accepts chipset. But it seemed to be very, very based on the die you got. So it's like the silicon lottery thing. I can't not say that I was a bit disappointed, because I was. And I'm hoping that AMD fixes this with this new 1900 line. So let me just quickly pull up I have a source. I'm going to show you something. Let me just fix how to do this here. Oh, no, not that one. Wrong one. There we are. Preview editor. That's the one I wanted. So let's see. Can we add other web page URL? Lovely. So copy this, paste it, and okay, yeah. So that works out quite nicely, actually. Lovely. Put this here and save. No, come on. Okay, so if I close this, yes. All right, now, sorry about that. Here we have it. It is the source is WCCF Tech, or as Luke's in Linus Tech Tips likes to call it. I don't know why, but that's what he said. I guess if you put the letters correctly and sort of speak fast, it'll be tech. Anywho, here we go. Here is, can we zoom in this thing? Is there a zoom button? Nope, that's not it. Okay, well, hopefully you can see a bit better than I can, so just blow this up. Oh, here we go. Here we have the 1998X. Put this over here so I can actually see my notes at the same time. Yeah, full lineup as we know it right now. At the top, currently, there might be newer ones, is the 1998X with its 16 cores and 32 threads. Yes, 16 cores. That's twice the original RyZen ones, so it's bound to be better. It's twice as good, hopefully. It has a base clock of 3.5 gigahertz and a boost of 3.9. But with that being said, I did see a post or an article on PCGamersN.com where they'd found some subtle hints in the Asus motherboard lineup at Computex in their booth, showing an X299 motherboard without the CPU in, but it had a little LED display on the rear I/O that was on, and it read 5.005 megahertz. So that's 5,005 megahertz. And 5 gigahertz is very fast. So if we can manually overclock without the boost to 5 gigahertz, that would be sweet with 16 cores. Holy crap. But there might be some core deactivation going on when you actually get to those high speeds. But then again, you're still running at 5 gigahertz. My old 9590 actually boosts to 5 gigahertz thereabouts when I play games and do some hard work on it. But that's a old CPU from an old, very old architecture, and it only has 8 cores. Sorry, the Threadripper at 5 gigahertz will be like 2-3 times faster than this, and that'll be sweet for compiling shit, and also for keeping up with today's graphics card. You need that because that's been sort of a bottleneck with AMD systems with a new 10 series of GPUs, 10 series NVIDIA game, of course. There've been a bottleneck in the CPUs because they just couldn't handle the data fast enough. But now with this, hopefully, we'll not see that. Other than that, the 1998X, you have the 1998, which is again a 16-core, 32-thread, running at 3.2 with a 3.6 gigahertz boost. Both of them are 155 watts, so they're a bit more than the 95 watt that the RyZen 7 was. And of course, you have, well, the one thing that I'm really, really happy about with these new CPUs is the quad-channel DDR4 memory support, and also the 44 PCIe 3 lanes, which will, that would be so awesome. You could stack graphic cards in there and make like a super render machine, or like a Bitcoin miner from, it would be a beast with all them lanes. But the thing for me is the quad channel DDR4 memory support, because AMD systems have been lacking that support for a very long time. Dual channel memory isn't slow, of course. Mine's running at 1600 megahertz and 3200 megahertz for the RyZen 7. It's very fast. You probably won't even notice going from 3200 to like 4000 or 5000, but it is the future. So if you're going to if you're going to make something new, you got to base yourself off the future's tech, not old crap. So yeah. Other than that, there's a couple of well, you've got the 1955. That's a 10 core with a 20 threads CPU, running at 3.1 with a 3.7 gigahertz boost, 125 watts. Again, same quad channel DDR4 and 44 PCIe lanes. So I'm guessing that'll be like the 1700 version of RyZen 7, and there's the 1955X, which will be like 1700X. So yeah, I'll probably be a bit cheaper than the 1998X, which, well, they haven't said much about like when they're going to release this, but let me just quickly scroll through here. I think we were talking summer, so it's a couple of months away only, which is very nice. the new line of these processor will, according to rumors, be named RyZen 9 Threadripper family, and it is meant to directly compete against the new Intel HEDT X299 platform and the Skylake X CPUs. So, no, it's kind of funny just the naming, because Intel's got 299, then AMD just makes 399, which is 100 better. But there's no real Threadripper to Intel comparison yet, but on their keynote they did showcase the new CPU, and they ran that Blender test that they did on the 7s against Intel. This time they just ran it against the 7s, and if you remember, this RyZen 7 took about 30 seconds to render the RyZen logo. I actually checked that, so yeah, it was about 30 seconds, and that was that was against a Core i7 6900K, and it had about the same time. I think it was like a millisecond or two quicker, or a second quicker, which really isn't much. But that's an $1,100 CPU though. RyZen 7 is not an $1,100 CPU. It's like half that, I think. It's not even way less. I can't remember the exact price right now, as I don't retain that in my brain. Now the Threadripper has done the same test, and it took about 10 seconds. 10 seconds to render that image, which both the 6900K and the RyZen 7 used 30 seconds. So that's 20 seconds faster than the 6900K. They haven't said anything about the price range of the Threadripper, as I said, but it will be between RyZen 7 and the 6900K, I believe. I'm not expecting them to go above this Intel pricing, because Intel is just gone absolutely bonkers about the pricing. I don't know why, but that's the way it is. So if the numbers are true, which they're showing us, and it's not something fishy about it, like the memory support's there and everything is as they say it is, and not like it was with the RyZen 7, boy, this will be worth the price no matter what it costs, almost. As long as it's below the 6900, I think. I'm not entirely happy about paying shitloads for a CPU, but these Threadrippers are really, really, really fast, and you get a lot of performance per dollar if they are a little bit more expensive than the RyZen 7, but then again not as expensive as the 6900K. You're going to get a lot of performance per dollar on these CPUs here. Just pull up this again. Of course, there we are. As I said, they have been rumored to do 5 GHz, but Asus absolutely refused to talk about it at the Computex thing, where PCGamersN.com were, and they tried to talk about it with them, but they didn't want to. So let's head over to the chat, see if there's nobody here. If you're watching, get your ass to the chat, say hello. I'm all alone today. I'd like to have some company in the chat. Anyways, I guess we're just gonna skip X299 for now and head on over to Computex. Computex is a huge, what's it called in English? It's a huge gathering of companies that do tech, and they just show off their newest and their best shit. And a lot of famous YouTubers have been going, and I really wanted to go, but we're not big enough, so we're not sponsored, so we can't go unless we pay for it ourselves. And trip from Norway to Taiwan to go there, I don't have the budget for that right now. So I've been basing all my information around the things that got out and the things that I like. I've been basing it sort of off other people's content, which there's a lot of. You should check out both Linus Tech Tips, Jay's 2 cents, and Bitwit, and also, of course, Paul's Hardware. Don't forget him. There's very, very very good information out there. You won't get the same here though, because we haven't been there. But yeah, I only have 2 things that I think is worth mentioning for me. Well, one of them didn't actually come out right now, but it was on display at Computex, and I like the idea of it. It's the Asus ROG GTX 1080 Ti Poseidon Hybrid. If you don't know what that is, you could check out Tiny Tom Logan's channels, 3D. Oh shit, I actually forgot. Oh, that's embarrassing. I forgot his name. I'm so sorry. Tom, I'll check your channel name. I'll leave a link to it since I was an asshole and forgot what it's called. OC3D TV, that's what it's called. I'll put a link in the chat room for you, or in the chat for you guys to head over, because he has a very, very good review about that graphics card, which is, it's a hybrid, as I said in the name. It runs both water cooling and air cooling, which is quite cool. And it's done very well. They've built the water block into this air cooler that's already on there. So it just adds to a very good air cooler. But then again, if you run it on water, the fans won't ever start with the standard fan profile. Of course, you can force them, as he said, as Tom says in his review. You can force it on, but you never need to. But the thing that I like about it is that I've had 2 graphic cards fail on me because the fans stopped. And if you have fans as a backup solution, so okay, say my water pump stops for some reason, then okay, my CPU will stop eventually when it gets hot enough. Well, my exact setup will actually kill the computer first. But then again, if you're running a shitty pump that just didn't have the ability to let your computer know that, oh, I've stopped, you better shut down, then this will actually save at least your graphics card. Maybe not your CPU, but your graphics card will be saved. CPUs aren't that expensive. Graphics cards can be hella expensive, and it's a 1080 Ti, so it will be. So, like, if your water cooling system stops for some reason, and your card starts to heat up, the fans will kick in. So it's not like you have to run either or. You can run them both at the same time and use one of them as backup. It's really nifty. It's really nice to see people implementing water cooling more, because it's big, but it's bigger than it's ever been now, with all the big guys doing it. But it's always been like, okay, so you have to actually pick the card apart to install the water block, and some manufacturers don't like that, some don't care. Some will actually let you have the warranty even though you remove the fans, which in my opinion is the best idea, because removing the fans and putting water cooling on a graphics card will make it last a lot longer. A lot. And it will actually remain cooler, and it will, well, it's better for the card. So I don't see why people would remove or strike the warranty because of that. But hey, they do it. So that's the thing that I like. It has a very nice clock speeds, You have to actually head over to TinyTone because I didn't write them down. Sorry. The clock speeds are about the same as everybody else is running, a little bit higher, I think they were, but the temperatures are way lower than everybody else's, which is very nice. So that's the thing that I like. That's new and was on show, you know, at Computex, so I'm squeezing it in on that. A thing that was on display only on Computex is Corsair's concept slate. And it looks a little bit something like this. It's a new case that they've made, and it is huge. It's absolutely huge. It is, let me swap the picture over to show you. There you go. As you can see here, it's very wide. It's a double 120, so that's 240. You can actually fit two 120-inch fans, 120 millimeter fans. That's what they're called, 120. Where are you getting that from? You can fit two 120 millimeter fans in the front, side by side, and also two 480 millimeter radiators, side by side in the front as well. And it also is a dual system, as you notice here. One graphics card here and one graphics card here. I don't think they're linked together. I think that's, nope, they're not. This one runs the main system, and this one runs a little mini ITX system where you can see, oh, can you actually see my mouse? I'm wondering if that shines through. It's kind of stupid of me. Let me just see here. No, you can actually not see my mouse. I am sorry about that. I will pop that up real quick. Let me see here. Can I layout? Doesn't it say like effects or something where I can actually add hands, color, picture? Wow, I actually can't. That sucked. That's weird. I thought you would actually be able to. Anyways, you can see the horizontally mounted graphics card, and just below that there's a little, ever so small, you can just make it out. You see there's 3 red LEDs down there. That is okay, so Dunphy is on his way. Anyways, you can just make out the little mini, the ITX motherboard that lies behind the vertically mounted graphics card. So it's a dual system case, so there's room for 2 computers in one, which is great. It supports, and this is the crazy part, it's so big, it supports, as I said, dual 480 millimeter radiators in the front, and a single 480 millimeter radiator in the top at the same time. So that's 3 480 millimeters radiators, and all of them can be mounted in push-pull configuration. That's 1 fan on each side, so it's extremely fat for normal radiators. But this case can hold 60 millimeter deep radiators in that configuration. As you can see here in the picture, it has no less than 3 of these radiators, and I believe you could probably squeeze in a 240 in the back where the 220 millimeter fans are as well, if you squeeze it in, I guess. And there's still no problem with clearance. Like when we put together Sangyo's machine, we had excuse my French, very difficult time getting the front mounted radiator where we wanted it, and it ended up not being in the mount that we really wanted it to be in, but at least it's in the front and it looks good now. It would even look even better if we would be able to put it where we wanted it. But Corsair has fixed that problem now with this new slate, which is, it's of course tempered glass case, as well. Of course, everybody makes that now. You can't have anything else. But it looks so good. It's huge, of course. It's heavy as well. Let me see. I've got the weights. Yeah, empty. It weighs 18 kilos, so that's 40 pounds. And the one that was on display on Computex weighed about 56 kilos. That's a dual system with water cooling, 56 kilos. That's 125 pounds. That's with 2 systems, of course. It does support up to 8 SSDs mounted on some French doors in the back. I couldn't find a good enough picture for that. And let me see, yeah. It's said to be extremely cable management friendly. And well, by the looks of these pictures, hard to even find something like that.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Oh, not that one. Here we go. This one. Everything looks well. Of course, these are cables with cable combs, and everything is done very well. So yeah, it just looks awesome, and I really want it. Of course, they have stated, and they said this not to me, but to Pulse Hardware, that let me see, this is likely to go into production within 2 to 3 months, and Paul estimated a price between 600 and 900 US dollars. That's between 5,000 and 7,600 NOK, or 500 and 7,600. Oh, God damn it. Between 500 and 760 pounds. So it's not cheap, but it's not like a case lapse case. So yeah, it's something I would be very interested in. It's also something I would be willing to save for a bit to be able to have, because this case is like, it's so big, it's so versatile that it actually will allow you to build almost anything in it, which again reduces the cost because you can have it for so long. Of course, it'll cost the same when you buy it, but over time you don't have to buy a new one because you just use this, unless you want to buy a new one. Of course, go ahead. But for me, it's kind of cost over time. And I've been looking into a lot of cases. I was looking at the Lian Li PC011, as I talked to you guys about last, or the stream before that, I think was actually. This one blows that Lian Li case out of the water, so I'm gonna wait a little bit before I upgrade Black Mamba here. I'll have to run with the Thermaltake Candolph for a little bit longer because I need to wait for this. I need to see what this costs. If it's within my price range, I will get this no matter what. It has all the front I/O support you need. I think it has 2 USB-C Type-Cs in front and 3. I forgot to write this down. I'm so sorry. Head over to Pulse Hardware to fact check me. But I think it had 3 or 4 USB 3 ports in front as well. It's just huge. It's absolutely huge, and I love it to bits. And I really, the Candolph is by far not small. It sure as hell ain't light. So I don't mind the size. I've got room for it on my desk or anywhere. I'll make room for it. Because it looks so damn nice. It'd be really cool to get my hands on one, of course, but I'll have to save up some money and wait until the release. But again, I will also be looking out for the Threadripper, so that's a hell of a lot of costs. So anybody know of a good chance lottery to put my money into? Let me know in the chat. Yeah, that's what I had for my favorite picks from Computex. I was hoping the other 2 guys were able to be here by now and throw in their picks. I see Sangyo will not be able to make it today. He is at work and has to do that. But we will survive. We will manage without. Okay, so thought I'd just quickly pull up not that one. Let's make a new window. I'm just gonna head over to what the hell? Did I spell that wrong? What is going on here now? Just checking this tech to see if there is any news regarding RyZen Threadripper, and I don't believe there is. Yes, here's some pricings. Oh, okay. So the RyZen Threadripper entry-level 16-core 32-thread processor is rumored to cost $849 US. And also the X299 motherboards are expected to cost a lot. So let's see. Last week 18. Okay, I'm going to show you this. Let's read it together. Okay, this one we're going to go to preview edit, and we're going to change this. I'm just going to delete it. Move, add other web page URL. There you go, and we're going to like so. Save, and we're going to head over to here. We are. As you can see, AMD RyZen Threadripper entry-level 16-core 32-thread processor to cost $849 US. Let's just see if that's the X or not. Also confirmed that the CPUs will be available in summer 2017, but have not given an exact date. Okay, details provided. Threadripper family with 16 cores and 40 megabyte of cache. These chip 32 L3 and 8 L2. The RyZen processor will allow for a mammoth amount of PCIe lanes. Will amount to 64. There's 48 lanes directly dedicated to graphics card, whereas Intel's X299 features a total of 44 lanes. Okay. But they don't say which one it is. AMD is going to price their upcoming RyZen Threadripper processors very competitively against Intel-based counterparts if rumors hold any truth. The latest rumors on the pricing comes from Bits and Chips, who have been very accurate regarding their previous reports on Intel and AMD CPUs, but the prices are yet to be confirmed by AMD themselves. Okay, so there's rumors. Hopefully, so what's that in Norwegian? Let me just quickly check that. $849 US to NOK. Okay, start talking about 7,145 NOK. That's 714 pounds, British. Those of you who live there. Okay, so 7,000 for CPU. Now they're getting close, but they're not 6,900K price yet. As I expected, actually. They're between the RyZen 7 and the Intels. Pretty much smack dab in the middle as well. I would be, well, okay, let me just rephrase myself. I would be willing to pay $849 for a CPU as long as the numbers hold up. As if the performance is there and the memory support is there as they say it will be, and it supports the shit that we need. $849 is a lot, but again, bear with me here. this CPU is so powerful that you will have it for a long time. You will, because it's 16 cores, 32 threads. It can handle all the workload we have today and tomorrow and the next day and the next year and a couple of years ahead. The only thing you'll have to upgrade on this, potentially, is the graphics card. And with the 10 series and the way that the gaming industry is right now, I don't see that we don't need... Yeah, of course, they're going to push them. They're pushing Pascals and the crazy blacks or whatever they're called. But I'm not seeing the need. My 1070 is holding up very nicely on all the games I play. In worst case, I could get a 1080 or a 1080 Ti. They're expensive, but yeah, I could get them. I could sell this one right now, and I wouldn't make money, but I could sell it, and I could get a decent amount for it because it still is very powerful. It's a 1070. They've gone down a lot in price since I bought it. But this Threadripper CPUs is something that you will have over for a long time. You won't have to change it for anything. As long as the numbers hold, you will not have to change it for a long time, just because it's so damn powerful. But again, it's very expensive, and as the article said, X299 motherboards expect to cost a lot. So that's also something to take into consideration. Because you gotta buy a motherboard, and you can't buy a shitty one. Well, you can, but there's no point. I've always bought top of the line motherboards. I've had Asus Corsairs, Asus Crosshairs for a long time. I'm running Crosshair Formula 5, I think. Me scusi. Yep. Crosshair 5 Formula Z I'm running right now. It is the top motherboard that Asus makes, and Asus is a very good manufacturer. I like them very well. I like their motherboards very well. And I've had mine for ages because it just lasts. Quality-wise, it's very good. I have the old Crosshair 3 in my NAS, as I showed you in my NAS video. If you haven't seen that, go to my channel or our channel and check it out. I've got that running still. There's no problem at all with it. So it's very durable, and I'm expecting, of course, Asus to pound out. Probably won't be. I think yeah, I saw it. Paul's Hardware. He reviewed. Well, I didn't review it, but he saw it on Computex, the new Asus X299 motherboard. What the hell was that called? Zenith. It was called Zenith. That's what the new line is called. Yeah. As with quality, price goes up. These motherboards are way more expensive than their cheaper counterparts, I guess we could call them. Probably will be the same for Threadripper. The new socket is called something as funny as SP3R2. So the Threadrippers are not AM4 socket compatible. Just so you don't get your hopes up for there. They won't fit because the new socket, and you better sit down for this, has 4,094 pins. 4,094 pins. But then again, it does not show in the picture I had here. Where is it? No, it doesn't show. But with this new CPUs are, well, they're square now, and the new ones are like, what's it called? Not square anymore. They're like long on one edge and short on the other. So they look very funny. When I first saw it, I was like, okay, that looks ugly, but it comes down to actually it being two Ryzen 7s squashed together. So yeah, it just ends up like that. It's basically to get 16 cores, you have to have two 8-core CPUs. I'm not sure if they've just glued two together. I don't think they actually have, but it looks like it from from the looks of it. And you should go to YouTube on AMD's YouTube channel and check out their keynote on Computex if you want to see the Blender test and also how it looks. But yeah, 4,000 pins, that's a lot. And I think they use pin grid array on this as well. They haven't said anything else, so they're not going over to like AMD, no, to Intel, where they have line grid array, where the pins are on the motherboard. So yeah, that's that. Let me just see. Yeah, okay, so Dunphy has actually inserted his notes. We have a common notepad, which we all have access to, so I can tell you a little bit about X299. Yeah. Okay. The new Core X series CPU chips from Intel sound really good and powerful, but there's one catch. You'll need a new motherboard. The current C270 standard for Intel CPUs would not make the new CPUs fit. The pin layout on the new CPUs is way different from the older sister. But if you're a demanding customer, then this is for you. The X299 isn't a huge upgrade over the C270, but it is a major leap past X99 boards, which hosted the last generation of Intel's most extreme chips. X299 chipset supports up to 24 PCIe 3.0 lanes, so yeah, they're half of what the Threadripper does. And you can load a system up with multi-gigabit Ethernet. We're talking 10 gigabit LAN. Yeah, you actually get this with the new, I also saw the new ASUS boards. Both the X299 and the X399, which is the Threadripper ones, come with a add-on card, and you get this with the price, so that's probably also added price. 10 gigabit Ethernet card that you slot into one of the PCIe lanes. So yeah, that's really nice. Let's see, you can load up a system with a few GPUs, 10 gigabit LAN, and a couple of M.2 SSDs, and still have room to spare for a handful of SATA devices. Yeah, because there's so many lanes. But that's not more than half of what you could do with the new AMD. Ta-da! Oh my god, this is so confusing trying to read up on something you have never used, he writes. Anyways, bottom line, lots of awesome shit, fast as hell, yada yada yada, fuck AMD, and this is what you want. If you have deep pockets stuffed with money, that is. Oh yeah, Intel recommends liquid cooling because it's so hot. No, seriously, it gets really hot during performance tests. Okay, but it's so damn powerful. But then again, but speedy LAN port is not fully functional if the home router can't handle more than 1 gigabit. Yes, you will be stuck at 1 gigabit unless you have 10 gigabit Ethernet. So Linus can use it with himself, I guess. But yeah, so X299 is powerful. Threadripper is twice as powerful. So yeah, not fuck AMD. Fuck Intel. Yeah. But it remains to be seen. The performance of both X299 and X399 will probably be very, very heavily debated and also very well covered in the, well, of the bigger YouTube channels. So yeah, when we have more info, we will, of course, let you guys know. No worries. Why am I so small when I'm the only one here? Let me, oh, there you go. Getting bigger. Hold up, hold up. There we go. That's better. Yeah, I'm actually very excited for both X299 and X399 because the winner will actually be the one I will build my new system around. So if X299 ends up beating X399, I'll slap on an Intel logo and call it mine. Even though I have actually never, well, yeah, I had one Intel system, and I have got some janky server NAS thing running on an Intel system, but I am an AMD man at heart, and I probably will continue to be for quite some time if the Threadripper family holds up to the rumors, which I really, really hope they do. Anyways, it is time to end, well, joining me in the intro, or the outro, will be the two other guys. Luckily for you, we've already pre-recorded that, so yeah. Was supposed to be a 3-man gig today, but coincidences will have it so that didn't happen. But hey, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Monetization pulled.
Hey, thank you.